Thanks, Alonzo, for coming on. It's Alonso Zavala is a good friend of mine. We met at the Gerry Spence method, formerly known as the Trial Lawyers College, right? And I know they don't call it that no more, but
Oh, yes,
yeah,
formally, yes, correct.
yeah. So Alonzo, former Marine, oh, not a former Marine, once a Marine, always a Marine, public defender, then goes into civil practice, a bunch of jury trials as a public defender, got some jury trials as a civil lawyer. Great teacher. So I'll let you know that. I had an amazing experience at the college when I was there. Got to see you teach at the Santa Ana workshop, and I was like, man, this guy is a great teacher, man. So yeah, thanks for spending time with me and coming on. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for the
Yeah,
invitation.
definitely.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, definitely, man. Right before we went live, we were talking about you're doing your own thing now, and you're doing some criminal defense and you're doing some personal injury, right?
Yeah, so I just decided to go on my own
Mm-hmm.
and open up my own firm.
Yeah.
And that allows me to have the freedom to take on criminal defense cases and some personal injury
It's cool,
cases.
man. That's cool. That's how I started off too. That's cool because the cool thing is that you get the cash flow going with the criminal defense stuff. Kind of keeps the lights on until the personal injury stuff hits.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, criminal defense. If you're doing DUIs or
Yeah.
assault and battery misdemeanors, it's an easy way to generate income
Yeah.
because, as you know, all the civil cases, I mean, take forever to
Yeah.
even see
Exactly.
any money from that.
Yeah. So the criminal defense stuff, what kind of cases are you taking on right now?
I mean, I'll take anything. I have been approached to represent. I was supposed to take on a murder case, but I believe it took me too long to open up my own
Yeah.
business, and by the
Yeah.
time I incorporated and did
Yeah.
everything, the family ended up retaining another lawyer.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm willing to take on anything. I mean, just since I have the experience of handling serious felonies
Yeah.
as a public defender, I can pretty much take anything. I did have even recently had a phone call for a child molestation case,
Yeah.
but the family didn't really have any money, and it
Yeah.
was it was gonna be too much work
Yeah.
for what they could pay, and I didn't want to take their money
Yeah.
just to take their money because it's a Hispanic family struggling. So I
Yeah.
told them to stay with the public defender.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I was just talking about that public defender I was on my friend Ray's podcast, and someone asked me, is public defenders people? There's a stigma that goes around with public defenders, and
Yeah.
they asked me, is it true public defenders getting a public defender is like it's like Section 8 housing? It's government. It's not good. They're not good. It's government approved. And I told them, it's like, dude, nothing is further than the truth. I was like, some of the best trial lawyers I met have been public defenders, and that's some of the stuff I was going to ask you. It's like it really is do you feel like it was a calling when you went to the PD's office initially?
I started when I was an
Mm-hmm.
intern in law school. I started doing internships at the public defender's office, and then I just saw the work that
Yeah.
they did. The clients basically, public defenders represent
Mm-hmm.
the lowest of the
Yeah.
lowest in our society, like the people that are basically abandoned and
Yeah.
people don't care,
Mm-hmm.
homeless.
And it's true. I always it's kind of frustrating you when you hear the media and movies that make public defenders look like these
Yeah.
dopey criminal defense lawyers, and I'm like, I tell people, like, some of the best guys I know as lawyers are former public defenders or public defenders. It's just I always tell people it's not that they're not good. They're great. They can be great lawyers. It's just they have a lot of cases. So you got 100 cases. It's hard to give attention to, So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard when you have a caseload of
yeah,
120 serious felonies,
yeah,
or here in LA some of them have 200,
yeah,
and they're active open cases that all 300 need to be worked on, and there is a constitutional
hmm,
right for a speedy trial, so you have time constraints,
yeah,
meaning the clients that are, especially the ones that are in jail, they want their case to move as fast as they can,
yeah,
so you really don't have a lot of time to
yeah,
prepare for everybody.
yeah. It's tough.
So yeah, it's hard to communicate with all 200 clients.
Yeah. No, that's damn near impossible.
Yeah, yeah, especially when we're not giving like a personal secretary or
Yeah, you're not.
paralegal,
You're
it's
200 clients. That's a whole business can operate with that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
really like almost like a one man show. You're doing everything.
I know you mentioned the Marine Corps stuff, and I know we talked about this in my family, a bunch of Marines in my family and stuff. What do you think, like being a Marine? What do you think is the biggest thing you took from it that's helped you as a trial lawyer now? Like, what in the Marines did you learn that was this? If you had to point out, like one of the biggest things I learned being in the Marine Corps is what I brought. It's made me who I am as a trial lawyer.
Well, I think one, probably the discipline
Yeah,
that you get from it,
yeah,
and two, the focus on the mission,
yeah,
or really take on a problem with the
yeah,
mentality that it can be solved. Like basically not giving up,
yeah,
no matter what the challenge is. There's this mentality that you have to give your all to the mission or to your case, or the clients. And even if there's a huge obstacle, don't give up until you at least try,
yeah,
because you never know what's going to happen. If they say, well, don't do this, or this cannot be done, the Marine Corps has this mentality of saying, no, we can do it.
hmm,
We can do it, and then at least try it. And then if we fail, we fail, but we give it our all and we
yeah,
tried. So this, I guess if you had to call it a principle, would be, the Marine Corps gives you three words: honor, courage, and commitment. So it's the commitment to the mission, the commitment to somebody else, that you just have to follow through no matter what and never give up, really.
yeah. It's important in trial work, man, because when sometimes you're going through it, you're like, why am I doing this to myself? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I mean, I like to be in trial, but
yeah.
then when I'm in trial, I find that, I mean, as you know, trial work and being in trial is exhausting.
Oh yeah,
You, at least with me, you don't get a lot of hours of sleep.
not at all.
You can't sleep before jury selection or opening, or sometimes at the end during closing arguments, I
Yeah.
cannot sleep. So you're not eating well, you're not sleeping well.
Oh, it's brutal.
You know, yeah.
It's brutal. I know.
How long was your trial? How
Mine was
many?
about 3 week trial, man. Wrongful death one. It was about I want to say 3 days, 2.5, 3 days of picking a jury, and then like 10 days of just the trial itself. So I know it's just like it's soul stretching. It's like literally like, and every second counts when you're in there. You got to be focused because the minute you're not focused, they're trying to slide something into evidence. And but no, I hear you. It does when in the middle when you're like, you hit it on the head. Like that's the biggest thing about for me is the perseverance and the guts. Like in people, unless you've been through it, like it's hard to explain. Like no, it's it's when you're going through it. I'm like, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this at all.
Right,
I can go on the beach and hang out in Colombia or chill out. But then after it's done, you're like, oh, it was rewarding. But
right,
yeah,
yeah,
that definitely it definitely takes perseverance,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
did you experience that, like sometimes, like I do,
Mm.
nights where you can't sleep, like the
Oh
night
yeah, for sure.
before?
Big
You know,
time.
you, it's just, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's tiring, but it always, every time, even when I lost, yeah, it feels, the loss feels painful,
Hmm.
but the experience, at the end of the day, you're like, I'm glad I did it.
You
I'm glad.
level up, and you do. We just talked about earlier, like the losses. You learn more from your losses than your wins.
Right.
If that chase would have went our way, I would have been like, oh yeah, it was I went to the Gerry Spence method. That was that. I would have been like, for so long, I did all this, but when it doesn't go your way, you really start thinking about, okay, what happened here, and you start thinking about things you could have done better. Hindsight's 2020, but I think you like out of that trial, I felt like the method helped me. I felt empowered. Like is that when I asked for $20 million in a closing argument, it's the most money I've ever asked for everything on that case. And but the method allowed me to internalize the story, internalize the client's pain. So I asked it with like confidence. So I think like that was a part of the kind of the Jerry Smith stuff I learned in that. But you're right.
Okay.
It's just trials serious, man. It's not
What was the moment that you were the proudest in that trial?
so when voir dire is very interesting because We were in Stanislaus County, very conservative Trump kind of vibe. Our clients are Spanish speaking farm workers. They even speak English, and the panels we were getting. Man, it was just like when we talked about the mini opening. They're like, you know what? I just don't think this is a legitimate case. They already are very defense minded, and I was running out of strikes, and then I'm like, man, it was a lunch break, and I was on my break. I don't know how I'm gonna get through this. We're gonna have to live with some of these people on this jury panel. So when I came back, I was trying to get it out of them to admit their bias, and they weren't giving it to me. So then I just was like, I went full on Gerry Spence method, and I was like, you know what? I'm nervous right now because we worked really hard in this case, and I just really want you guys to be fair. And I was putting it in my so real, and that's all I want. Can you guys hear the evidence and be fair? And then like it just totally flipped. Like all of a sudden they felt that, and they were like, they kind of were like, you know what? I'll be fair. You know, like I can feel that was genuine. Like they were, instead of me trying to be manipulative and trying to get them out for cause, when I knew, I was like, hey guys, I know you guys have different opinions that I don't like about you. You guys do not feel, you guys feel a certain way about this case and the facts you've heard. But what we really want is for you to just hear the evidence and be fair to them and to us. And that's all I want. Can you guys do that? And then like it just broke down their barriers and their guards were up. They're like, yeah, I'll be fair. And like I was like, yeah, I can feel it. It was real. And then the defense lawyer was like, oh, I can tell he was like it just changed the whole dynamic in the room. And then he got rid of some of the people that we were worried about. So I think like the Gerry Spence method, it taught me to just be really, really real, like be real and honest, because people can sense when there's an agenda. So when I used to pick a jury, I used to be trying to get them out for cause and trying to get them to say things. You know, isn't it true that you feel you might not be fair to them? You know, whatever it is. But when I got rid of that, and then it just changed the dynamic of I wasn't scared of them, the jurors as much. The ones that were denied, that had different opinions I didn't like, it made me like not concerned anymore, you know. So but during that trial we had a lot, I mean, we were just getting very conservative guys in there. And I had one guy as like a straight neo-Nazi looking guy, Timothy McVeigh looking guy. He was, I think this is fraud. And I was like, he wanted to punt, I can just tell. And I said, you know what, I acknowledged him. Even though I didn't like what I was hearing, I looked at him in the eye and I respected it. And like Gerry Spence, the method taught me that, like acknowledge them and honor them. It's like, you know what, I appreciate your honesty, and I know it's not what we obviously want to hear, but I appreciate that. And you kind of like, when you acknowledge them, you disarm them. And then the defense lawyer, I can tell he wasn't acknowledging people. He was kind of like the clipboard. Can you be fair about it? He just didn't care, you know. So I felt we did a good job. You know, it was just, you know, I think there was a lot of things we did good in that trial. At the end of the day, they just wanted more evidence we didn't have. That's what it sounded like. You know, very testimonial. There's a lot of testimony, not a lot of real evidence they wanted. But and then closing did some psychodrama. Like I went into third person and I put myself in the son's shoes. I lost his mother and how he feels. And I mean, I thought it was great. I felt great about it. Obviously, we didn't get the result we wanted, but you know, but it changed the way I see the trials now. You get more confidence. You know, being real is powerful.
Jurors or people in general, but especially jurors, they have an ability to smell bullshit.
They can smell, man, and you might as well just be real about it, because, yeah, it's still, you know, you try to figure. That's the hard. I think the hard part about those losses, or what you call a loss, it's kind of like when you did everything, you prepared hard, you did everything you're supposed to do. That's where you're trying to like, man, it doesn't sit right, you know. At the end of the day, I think it was just wanted more evidence we didn't have, you know.
Well, but I mean, at least you had an opportunity to take the method, apply it, and just feel it for yourself. This is what, you know, when you start feeling it inside of you, and how the jurors start changing and the dynamics, and you start realizing, holy shit, this works.
It works.
The method works because the jurors react to you different. And even though it doesn't go your way, you get up and do your closing, and you're more confident.
Yeah.
You can deliver it better with scene setting and whatnot. And then, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't go your way, but at least you got to connect with the method and apply it and feel the change, you know?
Oh yeah, you feel it in the room.
Right.
Well, we had our clients were very, super like man, like super like stoic. The father and the son like had a hard life. Remember, they were from Mexico. They're from Mexicali. They just hard like had a hard life, man. Had a lot of tragedy when they're younger. Very stoic, bro. And I couldn't get like their stories out. They wouldn't talk much. So we hired Michael Trainer, the psychodrama, yeah, and he helped us, bro. Like it was, even though I was like, it was still kind of worried. Like, oh man, I don't think they're gonna be. And they did really good at trial. I thought their testimony and their stories were good. The emotions came out, but yeah, like it's the psychodrama can help with that, or those. It can help get people to open up, and especially with stoic clients, man. Those guys were just hard to get any stories out of, you know. So now I'm a believer. I'm gonna one day when I get the big verdict, I'll really believe. But
It's coming, man. It's coming. Just stay
yeah,
in the trenches.
yeah. So did you do murder trials when you were a public defender? Or?
So I had the murder trials that I had ended up resolving. One was a
Yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
and my client ended up signing for 20 years
yeah,
determinate, meaning he knows his
yeah,
sentence because it was a terrible trial. And the second
yeah,
one, they offered me 4 years
yeah.
for a murder case, so it
Okay.
was pretty good.
Yeah,
I did the preliminary hearings,
yeah.
but never actually the
Not the
trial.
jury trial though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I think we all felt like when you go through trials, like man, the jury. There's some parts. There's personal responsibility. Like we could have done this wrong. We didn't do enough. Have enough evidence. But sometimes you just feel like they just got it wrong. Have you had a criminal defense trial where you're like, they just got it. Something just went wrong, and even though you looked at what you could have done better, but really at the end of the day, is I think it's just like I think they just got this wrong, man. I can't justify it.
Yeah, I mean, many times,
Yeah, yeah.
especially, when the judge gives them a specific jury instruction,
hmm
like the instruction on accident
hmm
that negates the criminal intent,
Yeah,
or the criminal intent jury instruction. I
yeah,
mean, sometimes it just,
yeah,
I mean, some jurors, because, I mean, and sometimes the evidence is so bad and their conduct is so bad that the jurors just, you know, convict the client,
yeah,
and especially if he has priors or whatnot, if it's a really bad case and the client has priors
yeah,
and he's done it before, and because the priors come in, which is not really fair that the priors come in to judge this particular conduct.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all the time, I had jurors that
hmm
just couldn't,
It's scary. I almost someone asked me, "Would you want a bench trial or jury trial?" And the more I do this, the more I'm like, I would like. This is how I really feel. I would like a judge to determine the liability, and then juries do damages. Because I
yeah,
feel like sometimes they just don't get it right, and they're not understanding the law very well. They read into
right.
the law. I feel like it's like jury trials are a crapshoot, and it's just it's really scary to know that you got 12 people that can determine your life, man, and different people with biases, different
Yeah,
experiences. It's scary,
yeah,
like I'm like it's scary, man. Sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I was telling someone I wish they had like an on-call attorney back there to like make sure they're following the rules, bro. Because on our case, they said we had unanimous negligence. Everyone thought it was negligence on the carrier, right? But they said substantial factor, and I was like, because they just and I'm like, they read substantial factors like substantial, and but I explained to them like it just needs to contribute, and I thought it was so simple that I just moved past it, you know. Now I'm realizing you have to really like spend like that you gotta spend time explaining like you gotta really walk them, be like because they read into the jury instructions a lot.
in the first civil trial case that I
hmm
assisted, I wasn't. I did a little bit of the voir dire, but when we went to trial, it was the same
Yeah,
outcome. They found negligence 100%, and we lost on the substantial factor.
yeah,
So and then yeah, because it's confusing, and I guess the biggest takeaway for me was
yeah,
to really spend more time on that particular jury instruction and explain it to them in a sense that's digestible to them, because
yeah,
it just doesn't make any sense that they're willing to say, negligence for
yeah,
the defense,
yeah.
but not substantial factor.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
I mean,
Yeah,
it just,
You
you
get to
know.
spend a long time on it. Like that's all I'm gonna do
Yeah.
next time. I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna give him examples and all this
Right.
stuff, like a cartoon, bro.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like all this stuff, but
Because especially because they have the opportunity to do that during the comparative,
hmm
the comparative phase, and
yeah,
award like the percentage, but not
yeah.
the substantial factor. I mean,
Oh man, it's devastating.
yeah, it's like it doesn't make any sense. Like, how is this possible?
Yeah, exactly, man. It's devastating. Hey, so
Yeah.
you worked with a lot of like you worked with Joey Lowe. You've been around trial lawyers, Jerry Spence College. A lot of great trial lawyers, guys that are just private jet guys that are just
Yeah.
doing amazing things. What is it that you think these guys have in common? If you had to like say, like these guys that are getting those enormous verdicts, what do you think that is that they have in common? And that's for question one. And is it just natural talent, or is it just like this is
Yeah.
where you see the commonality is?
I think the one thing that they have in
Yeah,
common, I want to say, like for
yeah,
example, Rob Amos, Joey Lowe,
yeah,
Hatham, Phil Stackhouse, every single one of them. What they have is it's work ethic. I
yeah,
mean, they work their asses off, and once they get brought in a case, I mean, they spend thousands of hours. I mean,
yeah,
hundreds and hundreds of hours preparing with the to go to trial, but also with the client,
yeah,
like discovering the story, what's there that's not on the facts. Like
yeah,
developing their traits. What are their good traits? How
yeah,
can they portray them as a good person with another witness?
yeah.
I remember Joey Law. In fact, I think he did a podcast on it, and that's where I heard it. For a particular case, for one murder case, I mean, it was a
Mm,
capital case, so we had to spend a lot of time. But I think in he shared in the podcast that for one scene,
mhm.
he recreated the scene 100 times, but from different
Yeah,
characters, different players, different
yeah,
including inanimate objects,
yeah.
just to get a sense of the scene and complete and full understanding of the scene.
Wow.
So it's their work ethic. I mean, they work a lot, but also they're willing. I think the other thing that they have is what I see a lot and I hear a lot with other attorneys is they're able to set aside their judgment for their
Mm,
client,
mhm.
meaning they fully dedicate themselves to defending the client or helping the
Yeah,
client, and they don't bring any judgment like, well, she has a history of doing, for
yeah,
example, meth. She went to prison, or he went to prison, or
yeah.
he has tattoos, he has face tattoos. They don't focus on the bad things, and they
Mm.
focus on the good things, and they spend a lot of time with the clients and getting to know the clients.
Awesome, man. It's awesome. So you've been teaching there at the Jerry Spence College for how long now?
I was nominated for staff in 2017.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That was probably the best thing I did for my career is going there. It was awesome. I loved it. The teachers are this is a cool experience, man. I loved everything about it. What's changed since so I was there last year? What's changed? What did you notice like changes this year to the facility or just in general curriculum? Is there different is it different in a way now or
For the 3 weeks, it basically remains the same. It was pretty much the same
yeah,
structure. A couple of modifications here and there
yeah,
to some of the houses, the
yeah,
cookhouse and the
yeah,
big barn. But overall, the curriculum is the same.
yeah,
I mean, this class was a very strong class. They were very. The one thing that I said is whatever the instructors in week
mhm,
one did, including with Joey Lowe and his welcome aboard message, uh, help to
mhm,
motivate the clients because sorry the lawyers attending because every lawyer was so eager to get up and work. We
mhm.
didn't have any hesitation. They were jumping up and down to. I mean, they would make a line in the morning for the poem and the singing.
Shit, that was something I was
Yeah.
scared of that. I remember that.
It is the first time that the classes. I mean, they were on it.
I thought
They
I
were
was
on
gonna
it.
get away. Sorry to interrupt. I thought because I thought I was thinking the last one, and I
Yeah.
thought no one's gonna figure out that I didn't do it, and then they did. Or what's his? I can't remember his name.
Tommy,
Man. Tommy.
Tommy, yeah,
So wait a minute. I was like, oh man. I thought I was like, okay, I'm cruising.
yeah,
I was like, I had to get
yeah,
up and sing, and that was funny. I thought I was gonna get away with it, man. I was like, these guys aren't keeping track of this shit.
Yeah. No, I mean,
The
Tommy, I mean, he has a roster and he keeps a list of everybody, man. Yeah. So I think, I
That's
mean,
cool.
I think it's an experience that, I mean, I'm still uncomfortable doing it,
Yeah.
but I think it kind of simulates jury trial, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fear and the
Bro.
uh,
Yeah.
feeling alone or feeling you cannot perform well and they're gonna reject you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I remember the first day I was there, the first day of psychodrama, and when they had the psychodrama therapist come, and I literally said, this was a mistake." I was like, "What the hell?" Because we were both Hispanic, man. We both, I mean, we had those values where I felt when I talk to other Hispanic people that've been through the Gerry Spence method, we all have the same thing. We say we're like, "Bro, I'm not gonna sit here and tell them talk about stories and things that I've had to deal with, growing up or opened up to people." Because I was taught through my family's like crying's a sign of weakness, and don't ever tell people anything because they'll exploit you. So man, I seen all these people opening up. I'm like, man, they ain't gonna do this. And then before you know it, you're over there, you're crying too and shit. And I was like, man, and no one. I think I was the only Mexican guy in my group, so I didn't feel judged. But then when I went to other groups, I'm like, oh man, like you kind of like you look at the other Hispanic kids, you're like, ah, I don't know, man, no, you don't want to show weakness in your own kind. But it was cool. It really challenges your beliefs, like and stuff. You kind of like these false beliefs you have, and like where does this come from? A lot of it's cultural, a lot of it's just things that were taught to you, but a lot of it's BS. And it allowed me to kind of look at that and like, where's this coming from? Like why a lot of this. I felt like when I got out of that program, I felt more comfortable being genuine, 100%. Like I just, it felt like a lot of my life before that was just kind of like judgmental of the people. Like I kind of walked in a room being like, man, I don't like this guy. I don't even know him. I don't like him.
Yeah.
So that helped me kind of understand where's that coming from, and a lot of it's just your own stuff that you need to deal with. And I was like, it was a great program. I tell people, everyone should do it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny you say that because I had the same experience when I went. I mean, I come from,
yeah,
Mexican family,
yeah,
Mexican culture. My family, my dad,
yeah,
you don't cry, you don't show weakness as a guy, as a man.
yeah,
Then I joined the Marine Corps, which is a similar culture. You
yeah,
don't show weakness, you
yeah,
don't cry ever.
yeah,
And then going to psychodrama, I felt the same way. I was like, how does this even relate to a cross examination of a
yeah,
cop? What are we doing here? And it took me many years
yeah,
actually of coming back and
yeah,
continuing working and attending programs to finally see that, like what you're
yeah.
saying, that it's a lot of the times, a lot of the inner voice, the little critic that we
Hmm.
hear, it's our own creation.
Yeah,
We just adopted someone else's ideas about us or
yeah,
someone else's beliefs about us, and we adopted it as true,
yeah,
and we have to break away from that and say, that's your own, that's your own BS. You got to deal with that.
yeah.
But uh, it was the Gerry Spence method that showed me that different perspective.
I think too,
Yeah.
also seeing guys like Joey Lowe, even you, man, these Marine guys that have been through a lot of crazy stuff and combat, and then just going through like when you see like, hey man, Alonso's he can cry, I can cry too,
Yeah.
like not as funny, but it was a lot
Yeah.
of that because like Tommy, Joey, these guys are cool guys that have like been in like just some like not like been through some
Yeah.
shit, and it's kind of like you feel like I'm gonna say it's like a man camp, but you feel like hey man, these guys are like I'm not tougher than these guys, so they said it's okay, then I'm good. Like,
Yeah, that's
you know,
exactly that's
yeah,
exactly how I felt when I
yeah,
got there. Because when you first see Joey Lowe, I mean, Joey
yeah.
Lowe is, it's like the tough Marine,
Cowboy kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
tough
Yeah,
cowboy, tough Marine, and then Haytham, who was an infantry officer,
yeah,
Phil Stackhouse, infantry tank
yeah,
commander or artillery commander.
yeah,
I mean, you see these guys, and this is exactly
yeah,
what I told Joey. I think that by seeing Joey being vulnerable,
yeah.
it kind of like gives you permission, right, to
Gives you
go there. It
permission.
gives you permission to go there
Mm-hmm.
and to know that it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay, and not only that it's okay, but you see the power on vulnerability.
yeah, exactly. Emotions are. I think we're I think my Hispanic culture, I was like you said, it's Thai. You don't do that. It's not macho. It's not
Right.
masculine, but it's human, man. Like we're humans. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel certain ways about things. So that's what that program taught me a lot, and you can connect with people like that. So it was cool. But I'm trying to think. Was Ruby? Is Ruby still there or
Yeah,
what? Oh,
she was
yeah, I
there.
love
She
that
was
dog,
there.
man.
Ruby was still
Is
there.
that your
She's
dog? Or is that Joey's dog?
It's Joey's. It's Joey's, but I'm sometimes I babysit. I take
I
care of
love that
her.
dog,
And
bro. I thought
yeah,
we just hang out the whole time. That was a part of the Gerry Spence experience, and the food
yeah,
is amazing. Same cooks and everything. Or
yeah. The same cook. So
I gained like fucking 10 pounds, and I got out of there. Like,
same. And I came every time I go, I come home and I'm like, oh. But yeah, I mean
yeah,
that's a good thing about Joey. He
yeah,
has done a really good job on looking for recruiting and maintaining a really good kitchen staff
yeah,
that I mean, and investing in good meals.
yeah.
We're eating really really good
Bro,
meals
we
over
eat
there.
everything was good. Like breakfast, lunch, dinner. Like I remember. I mean, I was pretty active. I worked out in the morning. I did some of the hikes, and dude, I just came out. I was like, that shit didn't matter. I get. The
It's the
food is the
dessert,
bomb.
the desserts that they have, man. I've usually said I'm not gonna eat dessert, but I mean, some of the desserts that they make are
Yeah.
just amazing.
Yeah, man. No, I miss it. I want to go back. I wanted to go to the graduate school thing this year, but things came up. But I'm gonna go next year. Tell me about the grad program. So, what's different from the 3 week program to like the 7 day for grad guys?
We spend less time
Yeah.
in really showing the basics
Mhm.
because we we work with the understanding that the lawyers that show up
Yeah.
know the program or know the method, have practiced the method, and
Yeah.
hopefully they've stayed practicing in a local group.
Yeah.
So less doubt as to who's gonna go first in psychodrama, right? They know what they want to work on, and it's straight to
Yeah.
the point,
Yeah.
right? No faster psychodrama, less time on okay who's gonna go next.
Yeah.
Same with techniques. A lot of lawyers go to the advanced program with a particular case that they want to go to trial, and they come in with a very narrow and a specific
Hmm.
problem or danger point or issue,
Yeah.
and they again their willingness to get up and work on their feet
Yeah.
is faster. Everybody is on point, and there is a little bit more or a deeper understanding on story structure.
Yeah.
And Joey does a really good job as holding and teaching a formal class on the story structure and what works and doesn't work.
Yeah.
Should you start your closing argument with the villain, or should you start the closing argument with the plaintiff? With your client, and that type of discussion and that type of exercise to see it through, and more than anything to see your peers how they perceive
Yeah.
your closing argument.
So someone that wants to teach there, say, their goal is to try more cases and help teach at the ramps. Like what's the path to that?
Do the 3 week,
Yeah.
do the at least one time I believe, the advanced program. So you have to go, you have to attend the advanced
Hmm.
program, and then really just go to trial and use the cases and share in the listserv. Let us know how whether it's a win or a loss, that we can see that you're actually applying the method
Hmm.
and how the method works in every phase.
Hmm.
And then stay connected, attend the local group if you can, stay involved. Because, for example, here, Adrian Baca in LA,
Yeah.
if whoever wants to teach, he will let you lead a class.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gives you the opportunity to become the faculty member and lead the class, and just stay engaged
Yeah.
and really try cases.
Start winning.
Yeah, or just try cases, because sometimes it's hard to win, especially for public defenders. But even civil, you may try 5 cases in a year and you may not win.
Yeah.
But you're applying the method and you're becoming familiar with the method.
Yeah.
You
Definitely.
know,
Definitely.
so it's just take the method and apply it in trial.
Yep.
And let us know how you're doing in trial.
Let me ask you about psychodrama, because one thing I've kind of like I was wrestling with was, Psychodrama I get is help discover the story. Super important. I get that. Like as far as even working with Michael Trainer in that wrongful death case we had, where I actually you put yourself in their shoes, the victim, the witnesses, and it helps you internalize the story more and figure out like the villains and how it helps flesh it out. As far as like the scene setting in the middle of the trial, let me back up. There's psychodrama helps you discover the story. Do you feel like there's a lot of power in actually applying the psychodrama in closing, opening, that kind of stuff? I'll elaborate. Like, say for example, when you're closing, you go into third person mode, like what I did in my wrongful death trial. It helped in the sense that, and I felt more empowered. And even one of the jurors, I asked him, he's like, "No, I felt like you got in a character, and you were very sincere about that." So, but do you feel like it's mainly used to discover the story, or should you use it kind of like in trial, scene setting and things too?
I mean, the goal is to
Yeah.
use it discovering the story because it's gonna
Yeah.
soften up your clients or help you
Yeah.
get rid of the walls that they have so
Yeah.
that they can get in touch with the emotions. And so that by the time they testify in trial, they're more open to the emotions that they're gonna feel. But I mean, I've used it. I mean, if you can use it, apply it in opening. I mean, I remember as a public defender, my openings and closings, for example, if there's a patrol car or a car involved, I would always put a chair in the well and sit down, become my client, and then sit down.
Yeah.
Or if from the point of view of the police officer approaching the vehicle, approaching the house, whatever the scene was, but or if the fight happened inside a house or whatever, and my client was sitting on a couch, again, I put a chair and sit down as my client.
Yeah.
And I do that in opening, and then I bring it back in closing. Some of the crosses, I mean, they might be too short where there's no ability to use scene setting. But yeah, I mean, if you anytime I could do, especially in crossing or direct, if I could do scene setting in the courtroom, I would do it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what in my closing I did. I went into, like, I said, I sat in a chair and I had two chairs. And I said, I'm going to take the position of my client. I talked, about how, you miss your mother because he's lost his mom in that incident. So I went into that, and then went to the fathers, and I felt good. I felt empowered to ask for those numbers. And I asked the jury after, like, if they said, like, no, like, there was, like, it felt sincere, and it was like, I felt like you're getting into character. So yeah, I was just wondering, like, I had the result went the other way, I would have been like, oh yeah, like, this is, you got to do it, it works, like, so that's why you question, like, I was like, either way, I know that it definitely works with getting discovering the story and helping your clients get the story out. Incorporating the trial stuff, like the closings, I was kind of like, well, I did it, and but yeah, that's why you want to talk about it and stuff. But
when you were setting up the scene, I mean, didn't you feel, I mean, that you were more connected to the story
for sure,
to the client?
Oh yeah, I mean, when I got done my closing, my law clerk and attorney, they were looking at me like that was they even said that was amazing. Like I felt great. So so I think at the end of the day, like I felt like that's the best closing argument I ever gave. So I can definitely say that with 100% confidence for sure.
And so what happens is when you do the scene setting, one, it gives you the ability as the lawyer to control the timing of events and the frame as opposed to the way the prosecutor or the defense wants to use it.
Yeah.
You get to tell the story from your client's point of view, but highlight the points that help your case and control the speed or the tempo of whatever happens, and then you control and set up the scene. And what that does is it draws the jury into the story, so they're watching you walk and see. So you're basically bringing them into the play so that they live the experience too. At one time I had a resisting arrest case, and I took the position of my client when he was pulled from his vehicle and arrested and dropped on the ground right away. So again, I put the chair in the well and I sat in the passenger seat where my client was sitting. And then I do a reverse roles with the cop who came in with the gun out, and then the guy that opened the door and drags my client out and immediately slams it against on the floor. When I was doing that scene from the point of view of my client, I actually lay down on the floor
Oh,
in
wow.
open court, and
That's cool.
I could see from the corner of my eye, the front row of the jury. They like five people stood up to watch. They wanted to continue watching, so they stood up like this to continue watching. The DA went like,
He's like, what the hell is he
yeah.
doing? Yeah.
The DA was
They don't never seen this
yeah.
stuff.
The DA made a face. She went like, oh, because she didn't even know what to do, or
Yeah.
it was so unexpected. And then from there, she told others, and I could even see the judge leaned forward a little bit and didn't even know what to say or do.
Yeah, that's how I felt when I did mine. I went in third person mode and the chair and all that. And then I just feel like the defense lawyer was like, what the fuck is this guy doing, man? You gotta do what it takes, though, you know. And
Yeah.
I understand that it is a lot of emotions, and just a lot of it, it's all about how they feel about certain things, you know. So no, I'm a believer. You know, I'm gonna keep going, keep doing it, and even my lord, Eric was like our
Yeah.
attorney. He's like, what is this shit?
Yeah,
So you'll
yeah,
know, you'll go one day. You'll understand, man.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you have an opportunity here
Yeah.
because Adrian has his group. I think Saturdays. I think
Yeah.
Saturdays.
I think every third Saturday. Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta go. I gotta go more often.
It's a great place to
Yeah.
keep the skills sharp, keep engaged, keep with the community, but also he'll give you opportunities to lead the group,
Yeah.
prepare you if you want to become faculty.
Yeah.
Like he'll give you the role, the chance to lead,
Yeah.
and then as you continue to do trials, then
Hey, let me ask you this. So you hear you gotta try the case because the insurance companies are gonna respect you more and the settlements get higher. From my experience, we have a pre-litigation department at a firm, we got a litigation department, and I definitely know that taking the case out of pre-lit to lit, that increases the value. And a lot of firms out here don't even do that. Then the next piece of it is the actually going to trial. So we've have our share of trials here too. I think the one thing I can say is that I think you develop a respect with the defense lawyer because we have another case of that same defense lawyer that we had that trial with, and I can tell they're dealing with this different. But how I can't say for sure that the insurance company is going to pay us more money now. What's been your experience with some of your mentors and yourself? Like, do you believe that the insurance companies actually have a list of guys that are winning, or is it? What do you think?
I mean, that's
Yeah,
kind of tough
yeah,
question because I haven't been enough to experience it myself. But
yeah.
what I've seen from others, I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
for example, Joey.
Mm-hmm.
I know with Joey, that's always his mantra. Like he doesn't settle; he just
Yeah.
goes, and he has gotten bigger numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen him make phone calls to insurance
Yeah.
defense that know him or know of him, and they pay the policy right away without issues
cool.
or something like that. Other heavy hitters kind of say the same thing.
Yeah.
They say, we're gonna go against this company, Toyota. They're offering 4 on the table, and they say, well, I don't think they offer but if you have a good case though,
Yeah.
right? You have a good case. I think they say, well, the 4 is not gonna go away.
Yeah.
And once they start throwing cases, I don't know if they keep a list, but they certainly do their research.
Yeah.
See who's trying cases and who's not.
I do believe that because when I had one time we subbed out or we got a new trucking accident, and then they gave us the file, and there was actually an insurance carrier report on the plaintiff's lawyer about how many trials is done. So I'm sure they researched a little bit. So yeah, I was just curious about that. I know State Farm, it feels like you got to try everything against them. They're just not paying right now. So, but yeah, I'm just always curious about whether I agree that the defense lawyers and the firms that have dealt with you in a trial, they're going to take you more seriously because it's like I've been, they could get lucky. I've been in trials with them.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the insurance companies, just like this guy tries cases, paying them out. I don't know yet, but
Right.
well, I'll let you.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's the great thing about going to trial, right? Like even in a really really
Yeah.
bad case, at least in the criminal defense,
Yeah.
if you make it incredibly difficult for a prosecutor
Yeah.
who has a slam dunk case, but you go to trial and you put him and you make him feel that they're gonna lose
Yeah.
on a slam dunk case, they'll give you what you want.
Yeah, you're gonna mess his,
You know,
his career. He don't want. He wants to be a
yeah,
judge or a head DA. You don't
right.
want. I don't want this guy making a career out of me.
And the same with the defense attorneys. I mean, I've
Yeah.
seen attorneys that they go to trial and they have a trial with the same defense
Hmm.
lawyers. They do either they settle your other cases or they treat you better.
Yeah. No one wants to. No one wants to
Yeah,
lose. No one
yeah,
wants to feel like,
yeah,
oh man, this
exactly.
guy.
Because if you can make them sweat on a complicated case, they're definitely not gonna want to go to trial against you on a better case for you.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's funny. I can
Yeah.
tell like, oh, this DA is trying to move up, and like, I don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't know, man. This guy's gonna mess my
Yeah.
career prospects
Yeah.
up. If you had to narrow down between jury selection, opening statement, closings, if you had a, what do you think is like the most important part of the trial? Like you feel like if you get this wrong, you're done.
I want to say jury selection probably.
Yeah, yeah, that's how I feel too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one is it's your first impression, just like
Hmm.
anything else, job interview, whatever.
Yeah.
Your first impression to connect with them, and if you don't do it right, I think you're gonna have a difficult time trying to come back and connect with them.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a great opportunity too because you control everything about it, everything about how you start, where you start. I mean, everything in the courtroom, who you talk to first. I mean,
Yeah.
and so many things that go into jury selection when the jurors are even walking in. Like, are you greeting them with your eyes? Are you saying, you welcome them with your
Yeah.
eyes? Your nonverbals throughout the whole thing. I mean, I think, if you have, I mean, Gerry Spence used to say,
Yeah.
right, or says, give me a really good voir dire and an opening statement,
Yeah.
and the case is over.
What I've learned with this last trial, it's like, yeah, you can do everything, but sometimes you just get like the panels, man. Like, I care. I believe in personal responsibility, and I believe like, yeah, there's some things you got to own up, and it's in your control. But if you just get bad panels that are just very conservative, you only have so many strikes. That's like, you can do the method, you can have a good jury selection, but you're stuck with guys that are just gonna be tough. And how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Well,
Yeah.
one, when I have
Yeah.
very conservative jurors,
Yeah.
I try to play my military card,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
Marine Corps card, and tell
Put
them,
the
hey,
American flag on.
yeah,
Shit,
put the
yeah.
American flag on the Marine Corps flag.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, what it is even those jurors have a sense of justice,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Of not giving free passes. But I guess the conversation is to be, okay, so you're not gonna give me a free pass, but can I have you promise that you're gonna be the same for the prosecutor or that side?
Yeah.
Are you gonna hold me accountable, but are you gonna hold them accountable as well?
Yeah.
And then start changing their direction instead of you. Use those conservative viewers to say, well, are you gonna be use the same sense of judgment
Yeah.
and not giving people breaks or
Yeah.
passes, just like the way you're gonna hold me accountable. Are you gonna hold them accountable?
Yeah.
And then now their attention is not on you.
Yeah.
Now that you force them to say, okay, well, yeah, well,
Yeah.
yeah, I promise you, I'm gonna be fair to these guys.
Yeah.
And then honestly, and then after that, just hope for the best.
I was talking to Thomas Johnson after my trial because he was one of my mentors, and I was like, man, he was just telling me like, he doesn't even like calling them losses. He's like, it's just some things that it's like it's just out of your hands. Like you can just do your best, you advocate, but you just at the end of the day, like that's our job. Go in there and try the case, do your best. These things are out of control. I think what I've learned is that it really is the jury's case. Like I really
Right.
felt like you can do your best, you can put on the evidence and advocate and know your case, but it's really their case. Like I've realized that it's like it's in their hands, man. And how can you can't go back there and sign the form with them. You can just do the best you can. It's really their case. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a really good
Yeah.
phrase that it really is. I mean, once it's in their hands,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's, and I felt that a lot in a lot of cases that were very tough, and I defended some people that the cases were
Yeah.
incredibly tough, and I just had to
Yeah.
say, it's not in my hands.
Yeah.
And I went to trial on cases I knew I was gonna lose.
Yeah.
I knew the evidence was incredibly bad for me, but my
Yeah.
client wanted to go to trial, and they have the constitutional right to go to trial. even knowing I was gonna lose
Yeah.
because the case was terrible. There's a confession. There's DNA. I mean, horrific things that you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Even
Overwhelming
those,
evidence. Yeah.
yeah, even those losses hurt because there's a moment in trial, where especially when you're given your closing argument, there's this sign of hope, or maybe saying maybe I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Because you get so much in your head and you're doing everything that you did. You did the
Yeah.
method perfectly, and everything went
Put
right.
it out there.
You put it out there, and at some point, you have this little, light of hope that you
Yeah.
may win. But then
Yeah.
when the guilty verdict comes back, it still hurts.
It hurts,
Even
man.
though I knew I was gonna lose.
Do you feel like it's lonely? Like I felt like in my experience, like this last wrongful death case I did, like I realized that it could be a very lonely experience because even though you have a couple got an associate or law clerk with you, it's like they're not first sharing it. It's lonely because everyone's got their opinion on you could do that, but they don't know when when you're in there, you're picking a jury, you're opening. They don't feel
Yeah,
what you're feeling at, and I like that the nerves you get, and I like talking. Like I love socializing. This is
right.
what I do. But when you get on there, you're doing that opening statement, and you're just like all these thoughts before you get on the anticipation before you go on opening
Mm.
statements nuts.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh! Like all of a sudden you feel like you might have to throw up.
Yeah.
I was like, what if I gotta use the restroom in front of the whole like if I'm in opening statement, I gotta like go pee. Like it's just all these thoughts are like, and then once you're in, it's like finally.
Yeah. Right.
But they
Right.
don't unless you've been there. It's hard to like,
Yeah.
So I always felt like that last trial. I was like, man, this is like it is true that first chair is it's a very lonely. Even though you have a
Yeah.
team, it's
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
It's hard for them to experience that what you're going through.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think that being a trial lawyer and what we do can be a very lonely
yeah,
profession and
yeah,
lonely place because I have the same anticipation right
yeah,
before my opening or right before
yeah,
jury selection, but opening too, of the nervousness and the jitters right before I get up and start doing it.
yeah,
Once I start talking, I get in a rhythm.
yeah,
But I feel the same when the verdict comes in and everybody has to pass it around, the foreperson to and you see the verdict and everybody knows it before you and everybody read it. It goes to the judge and then back to the clerk and you're sitting there like, oh my God. I mean,
I don't even look at the jury, dude. I don't look at them when that's going on. I don't
yeah,
want to look because then I'll see one like you can tell
yeah,
like
yeah. I mean, and this is what I
yeah,
say, like, unless you felt like
yeah,
the terror and the panic of that moment, of even if it's brief, of going to trial,
yeah.
really, you don't. I mean, nobody else understands
Nah.
that and your loneliness and how
Oh yeah.
how mentally what it does to you, what it does to your body and the
I know.
anxiety and the.
When I'm in the middle of it, you're like, why? I don't even need to do this. So then I'm like, later when you're done with it, you're like, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a definitely transfer. It's every trial I've done, it's been like I felt like you level up, you just transform, you become a different person. Each one I've done. What do you love the most about criminal defense, and what do you hate the most about it?
What I like the
Mm.
most about criminal defense is probably using creativity
Yeah,
to win a case. Or I shouldn't say creativity, I should
yeah,
say discovering the story more with your
yeah,
client and seeing, instead of focusing on the when, what, focusing on the
yeah,
why conduct and the why story, which is part of the developing the story, that
yeah,
the prosecutor has no idea how to do that or an ability to really find that
mm,
other story that drove your client's conduct.
yeah,
And once you find the why and you can present it, it's a beautiful thing to see it unfold in court
yeah,
because they have no clue what you're doing or how to anticipate it,
yeah. They
you
just say
know?
this guy did that. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
They
And
try to come up
then,
with a motive.
yeah, like things like that.
I can see. Sorry to interrupt you. I'm just
Yeah,
thinking
that's
about because
okay.
like they're thinking, okay, this guy shot this person because he was angry. Or he's
Right.
angry or whatever. But you're thinking, like, why'd you really shoot this guy? And you're
Uh,
saying, well, you get to know the story. It's like, well, I was scared. Like, the DA is not gonna say he shot the guy because he
right.
was scared. But your job is to discover, like, I shot because I was scared and he was in my home, or he was attacking my kid or my wife, or there's more to, you can get more deep with them, and the DAs this comes up with their motive, and that's I never thought about. That's cool. You
Yeah,
kind of
because
get the story behind it. Like, yeah, he shot him, and he was angry, but also he was scared because 3 minutes before that, this guy was showing him his gun.
yeah,
Things like that. That's cool. Yeah,
yeah, like you get into the into the why was it self defense? Why
yeah,
was it self defense or this and that or you know yeah, discover exactly all the elements
yeah,
or all the people
yeah,
or really they don't get to see how you're gonna the story you're gonna develop
yeah.
until you're in the courtroom, and that's really
Yeah.
powerful because we get to hold our cars, if you will, until trial.
Yeah.
And then that's when it comes out and it unfolds, and they start freaking out because they don't even know what to deal with it,
So
how to
yeah,
deal with it.
that's cool. That's something in civil. I don't think I realize that you have that in the criminal. It can be more creative and more spontaneous. Because in
Yeah,
civil, they know what your defense is gonna be
right.
and everything. You don't have to show them that in the DA.
No,
That's cool.
no.
So you're like,
Uh,
they're like sitting there like, where did this come from? Like talking
uh,
about there's some other unknown guy or some
yeah.
theory, some crazy theory. You
Well, I
know?
mean, you have to disclose some of it,
Yeah.
but for example, you can be sitting on impeachment material
Yeah.
for the officers or the other
Yeah.
witnesses that you don't have to turn over if it's only used for impeachment material.
Yeah.
So, or they don't know if your client is going to testify or not, or
That's
what the
cool.
client's going to say.
You know, opportunity.
You don't have to get, you don't have to. They don't get to take a deposition of your client. You don't
Yeah.
have to turn over a statement.
Yeah.
It's just
The prelim's only for like the officers and investigating
right,
officers, right?
right,
Okay.
yeah. And
That's
prelim
cool.
is for the state. The other thing that that's what I like the most. What I don't like is the sentencing schedules, like the mandatory sentencing.
Oh man.
I think that a lot should be in the hands of the judges because they're the ones that see the case, they see the evidence, they get to see your client in court, they get to test his behavior while in court. I mean, if your case is 4 weeks,
Yeah.
they get to see your client how he acts for 4 weeks straight. And a lot of it is taken away from the judges and into these mandatory
That's
sentences.
scary, man. So like, listen, you
Yeah,
can be. It's just like if you got convicted of this crime, there's mandatory things he's got to do. Like no matter how he feels about that criminal defendant, that's scary. It's like that's a book. This is what it says.
yeah.
Oh man, that's scary.
That's what yeah. And there's really no evidence that it works. The mandatory sentences or the sentence enhancements that we have, there's really no data that shows that it helps in keep the community safe.
Yeah,
You know,
it's criminal
so
justice reform we need.
right,
Yeah,
right.
that's crazy. I did not think about that. So what about on the civil side? What is it that you love the most, and what is it that you? I can probably tell. I know it's the paperwork.
Yeah, what I
But
hate
yeah,
the most is the amount of paperwork that you have to do
yeah,
and what you have to print, all the materials that you have to bring to
yeah,
court, especially as a plaintiff, because you have the burden. You're the one with the extra copies, the copies for
yeah.
the clerks, the copies for opposing counsel. I mean, that's crazy. What I like about civil though is rebuttal in closing. You have the last word.
I hate rebuttal, man. I always feel like, and I gotta talk to you about that because, like, I feel like closing, I'm good, and then they do their closing, but then like sometimes they'll come up with some other stuff, and you're like, and then you got to rebuttal. Like, I always feel like the power is lost on rebuttal. I gotta figure out how to do that better because I feel like I'm giving maybe saving some of the closing for rebuttal, preparing more for rebuttal. I mean, because I feel like rebuttal, I'm always like, oh damn it, like it's just.
Yeah.
But what are your thoughts on the rebuttal part of it?
I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, the most effective rebuttals if they just you keep on advancing your story
Mm-hmm.
and just focusing on something that they said that you can just
Yeah,
reframe the issue.
yeah,
Like especially sometimes they use analogies or whatever. I think that what I like to do, or what I've seen done effectively is when they take that example or that
mm-hmm.
analogy and they flip it and
Yeah,
they basically turn it on their head and use it against them. But then and then just stick to the story of the emotional story
yeah,
with emotional content to just nail the
yeah,
feeling of the loss.
yeah.
Really.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, I noticed with the rebuttal stuff, it's gets another. That's something that I like the closing. Then they do theirs, and I'm like, I feel like you're trying to address all their points, so you can kind of lose power of your thing. But no, that's a good point. Kind of just sticking to your story.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good stuff, man. Yeah, man. Well, thanks for that's awesome conversation talking to
Thank you.
someone's been through the trenches with the public defender and Gerry Spence Scholars College, which is like the best program. I'm telling you,
The,
that's I miss even when I see the people going through it. I'm like, there's something about that ranch. Like I want to go. I want to just go back and just hang out. Like I don't really want to go through the program all over again, but just hanging out, the campfires. I feel like the third week of the program, things go kind of crazy. Like I think we're stuck with you're with the 3 weeks. You're with the same people, no Wi-Fi, nothing. And I think that third week, you're like everyone's kind of tired of each other.
yeah.
So people, like you start getting irritated, like tired of having a roommate, tired of seeing the same person. So the third week is a trip, but you miss
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's definitely a rite of passage, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
you should come out, man. For the advance. It's
Yeah,
really. I mean, just like anything else, like riding a bike. How do you get better
yeah,
repetitions, reps,
yeah,
and just seeing like Joey teach in the advance. I mean, it's. I learn a lot by just going back, which is why I keep going. I keep going because
mhm,
I learn from the other faculty members and I learn from the students. Sometimes they may say a good opening or good words,
yeah,
great analogies, and I'm just absorbing all this knowledge that been really beneficial to me as well.
yeah. That's awesome.
But
Teaching
it's
helps, man.
so the new name the name is the Gerry Spence method.
Jason's better, yeah.
The spirit method,
I
yeah.
was
Because the
changing. Was
trial is the other one.
Yeah. I heard Jerry Smith's method. I heard Jerry Smith's college. Jerry Smith's method. All right.
Yeah, yes.
It's a magical place, and the cool thing I remember too is like, even when you have your 1 day break, like when you have your on the weekend,
Uh-huh.
going on the Jackson Hole, like and then seeing the wildlife, bro. I remember seeing like bison,
Yeah.
it's just cool. Like, man, it really is like the last frontier. Like it's just like that. It's such a magical experience, man. Like, and it's a lot of work. I tell people, my dude, it's not. You're not gonna go there and just hang out. Like you're gonna have 1 day off, like 3 days off in 3 weeks, and like it's not. I think people thought I was just out hanging out
Yeah.
in the camping and shit. Like I'm like, no, bro. Like this shit was work. Like I wasn't. There was not a day that was easy. You know.
Yeah,
So
no, it's pretty
yeah,
demanding. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, you're tired, especially if you're getting up early to do the hike.
yeah.
I mean, it's draining.
No,
It's
that's draining.
emotionally draining and it's mentally draining.
Yeah,
And we make it, but the beauty is where it's located. I mean,
yeah.
it's just such a beautiful
Oh, it's
state
awesome,
and
man.
beautiful, city to go through.
Yeah,
Like the journey just to get there is it's a beautiful journey, and I'm glad that it's like that for a reason.
yeah,
That is that people, the lawyers that really want to go there are committed to going there, and they're committed to the journey that's not easy to
yeah.
make.
And you make friends for life there. Some of my guys in my class, I'm still friends with to
Yeah.
this day. You know.
When I went there as a student, my roommate, who's now a public defender here in LA, I mean, we pretty much text almost every day.
Yeah,
We stay in contact. I mean, forever. Yeah, you're right. You make friends, true friends, on a
yeah,
deeper level and a deep
yeah.
connection that you're gonna remain friends forever.
Guys that you think you want to, hang it out with.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, It's pretty cool, man. No, it's the
Yeah.
best program. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next trial I got. Get back on the horse.
Yeah. What, and if you've identified like a case, like for example, we were talking before we started, you said, tell me you have really good wrongful death
Yeah,
cases. You can get that case and then just start working it. Once you spend some time with your client, and then go to the advance,
yeah,
and then just practice all week on that
yeah,
case. And if you want additional sessions because you want extra time, we make that
yeah,
for whoever wants to, get additional reps.
yeah, definitely,
And
man.
then that way you have a case that you truly want to take to trial, and you get to practice it and run it through all the faculty that's
Yeah,
at the ranch.
yeah. That was cool, man. Tommy was up there too.
Yeah,
That's
Tommy
cool.
Thomas kicking ass. Yeah,
Yeah, it's cool, man. I thought he
yeah.
was a lawyer, but he's a the
Uh,
psychology, psychology guy.
yes, as a master's in psychology.
Oh yeah,
Pretty smart guy. Pretty
yeah.
good.
That's cool, man. No, I missed the food too, bro. The
Yeah, yeah.
campfires are
Hey man,
fun.
come back, man. We need more people like you.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need
it's
more
cool,
people that
man.
are
I'm a believer, you
well,
know.
you're a believer. You're young. You're in the
Yeah,
trenches. You're doing what you're doing what
yeah,
you gotta do, and you got the drive,
yeah,
and you have life experience to share with
yeah.
others, right? Because now
Tell
you
it.
can be that Mexican man
Yeah,
setting the example for another Mexican lawyer who doesn't want to open up, and
yeah, definitely,
you
definitely.
know,
I have Eric, man. I know when I
yeah.
busted it out, Eric was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Like, we're gonna send Eric, man. We're gonna make him cry with her. Well,
Yeah.
Thanks, Alonzo. Appreciate it for coming on, man. Best of luck to your practice, man. And I'm happy you're doing it, man. You're gonna do some good stuff. So
Thank you. Thanks for
appreciate,
having me, man.
yeah,
It
appreciate,
means a lot to me to
yeah,
be invited to this to your podcast.
yeah, appreciate
Thank
it,
you.
brother. Thank you,
Thank you,
man.
brother.
Thanks,
Thank you.
man.
Thanks.